Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Elizabeth Elaborates. I'm Elizabeth, and today we're doing a little book haul of all the books I've bought in the last couple months. Maybe since summer. So I am on the periphery of being a minimalist, and I think I used to be able to claim that 100% I'm a minimalist. Now I'm not so sure, but it definitely extends into how I treat my material objects. It's not just my clothes or something like that. It also is about my books. So let me show you this stack because it's a little bit heart-wrenching to me. I don't really buy many books, and when I do, I usually don't want to keep them because it kind of drives me nuts. Like, I have this big full-size bookshelf now. Sorry, my room is a mess. And I would say this is like 50% full by the time that you actually stack them all up close together. So I don't really buy a book unless I see myself actually reading it in the mental TBR or in the next couple of years. Because like right now, I want to read like a bunch of classics, so I'm probably not going to buy a book that's like totally out of my wheelhouse because I know I'm going to be reading classics or I'm going to be reading the stuff I already have for the next couple months. I don't just buy books hoping that like when I'm 75 I'll get to it, because it does actually bother me having so many unused books. That's why I love the library or audiobooks, because it's just non-existent. There's no physical weight to reading a book. So a lot of these I will read and I will get rid of. But without further ado, let's get into it. And I'm going to be just as surprised as you because, again, I don't really know what I bought. I haven't picked it up in a while. And I don't really read the blurbs. I just kind of judge a book by its cover. I trust that I like an author already, and we just go from there. First up, Hamlet. I know why I got this one because I'm reading classics. This is my next project is just reading as many classics as possible. So this is obviously for that. I got the version that has detailed notes from the world's leading center for Shakespeare studies. So this is really only like a third of this length. I was looking at like there's so much in the beginning, there's so much at the end. And let's pick a random page. They're only half full because it has a lot of translations and definitions. And I don't know if that's for like 8th graders that are reading this, but I'm going to use it because Shakespeare is a little daunting to me. So yeah, do I know what it's about? Absolutely not. And there's no blurb on the back, so that's it. Second book is Animal Dreams by Barbara Kingsolver. Love Barbara. Actually, the more I read of her, I'm liking her less. I'm currently reading Unsheltered, and I started this one. I actually really loved what I've read so far. This cover is amazing. This is like an absolutely beautiful cover. A nice spine too. I appreciate a good font and a good color scheme. I think people are slacking on the book covers these days. Actually, one of my favorite book covers ever is this book called Killing and Dying. It has this like plasticky like sleeve on it, and I was like, is this just because it's a library book? But no, it's actually how it is, and it's beautiful. Something about it is minimalist and gorgeous and kind of like electric with the signs and stuff, and I can just like hear the cover, you know what I mean? But anyway, I hated that book, by the way. 0 stars. 0 stars for that book. So Barbara, cool little coyote, cool little girl here. Yeah, I don't have much to say. I don't want to spoil my review, but other people have a lot to say. Look at all that writing. All right, third book. The Sun Also Rises by Ernest Hemingway. This might be a classic, but I picked this up before my quest to read classics, and I was at a beautiful bookstore in a nearby city, and I was just hanging out with my friend. We just stopped in there with our coffee, and I was chilling by this bookshelf for a while, and I was like, wow, so many of my favorite books are here, so many of my TBRs here. And after like 5 minutes of being by this shelf, which was right next to the counter, I realized it's the banned bookshelf. And I was like, bro. And I was laughing about it. My friend was like concerned because she's not a big reader, so I don't think she really knows what that entails. And then I ended up talking to the guy behind the counter, and he was recommending this book. And I said, yeah, I've been like hearing a lot about it. People have told me to read it. First novel, a timeless example of his spare but powerful writing. Ooh, a poignant look at the disillusionment and angst of the post-World War I generation. Edna O'Brien says, "The Sun Also Rises introduced me to a kind of erotica, a glamour, a life that I couldn't believe. I was seduced by it." So like that obviously sounds amazing to me. And it's in here somewhere. Hang on, I forgot a book. I have to go get another book. Be right back. The Great Gatsby. Now, the reason, well, I did just get this, so this is going to count. But The Great Gatsby, and I don't know if Dorian Gray is in, I think it's an earlier time period. But if I'm guessing, these are like similar time periods, but going to be very different experiences. So I'm excited about that. So I guess since I did this already, The Great Gatsby. And this is not a first time read for me. This is a reread. And one thing about me, I will always give a book a second chance, okay? I will. This is why I hate DNFing books, because there's bad books that I will try my hardest to give a good review to, and I just don't get it. So on my Goodreads, I have in my bio, like, I'm a critic, and I always say on here, I'm a hater. I love to hate. But I'm just very opinionated about books, and if I'm doing something in my free time, I want to enjoy it. So this, I didn't hate at all. It was just kind of nothingness. Like, it was not a life-changing experience in the way that my friends have explained it to me to be, and I'm like, I don't know. So I kind of want to get in on that, and I'm going to give it a second chance. I'm going to read it slower, because the first time I read it, I just was like, ooh, this is so short. I can read it right now. And I think I just started glazing over things. That sounded disgusting. Is that a phrase? I don't know. I just forget that. But I'm going to give it a second chance. Also, the cover is just also a classic. So this month I'll be reading this. I read like one page last night and then fell asleep. Classic me. But the glamour, the glitz, the 1900s, the 20s, the roaring 20s. I feel like everybody knows it. So I want to be in on that club, and I want to love it as much as everybody else loves it. So I'm giving it a second chance. Let me get this one out of the way because it's taking up a lot of room. Seasons by Robert Frost. Picked this one up at a library sale. Poems by Robert Frost, photographs by Christopher Burkett. I guess it's kind of like a coffee table book in a way, but like it's just poems in a massive book. So I'll read it. If it's great, I'll keep it. If it's not, I'll probably get rid of it, because like, what am I gonna do with this? I don't know. But like Robert Frost obviously is classic. Everybody loves him. One of the first poems I ever memorized was "Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening." I don't know if that's in here. Let's see. There it is. Okay, so it looks like these are categorized by season: spring, summer, autumn, winter. And it is in the winter section, obviously. Photographs. The life and times of the late Demon Rum. I don't know. I picked it up. I opened the first couple pages and I saw New Jersey. And so I was intrigued. This is an irreverent history of the temperance movement in the United States. So I figured I have no idea about anything about that. I should probably know something about it. And this book looked old. This cover looks incredible. Like, I don't know. I feel like it has a lot of dimension and cool colors. Like the little pink outline on that, isn't that cool? Pink, yellow, orange, black. I don't know. I was intrigued by it. It's technically history, but it's an irreverent history. So maybe it's going to be like a little bit more entertaining. It's not like super packed, but it's pretty big. It's a pretty hefty read. But something about this is just telling me that this is a diamond in the rough, and it's completely looked over, and this is probably going to be a great book. But stick around for the review, because I'll get to it at some point. I lost count, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it's 6. Where Angels Fear to Tread. I believe I picked this up at the same bookstore that I was talking to the bookstore guy about The Sun Also Rises. That was the most complicated way I possibly could have said that sentence, but you got it. So, no idea what this is about either. I think it's a classic. Let her go to Italy, he cried. Let her meddle with what she doesn't understand. Look at this letter. The man who wrote it will marry her, murder her, or do for her somehow. He's a bounder, but he's not an English bounder. He's mysterious and terrible. He's got a country behind him that's upset from the beginning of the war. From the beginning of the world. Okay, this is actually reminding me that I started this. Did I finish this? I definitely didn't finish it. I started it. Quick read. Okay, I gotta add this to my monthly reads because I gotta finish this. I can't forget. This lady wants to like up and go on an adventure, and I haven't finished it, so I don't know what happens on that adventure, but apparently something big happens. So it's cool. I like it. I actually really liked it now that I'm thinking about it. And interesting cover. Almost like futuristic-y in a way, but it's like the past. I don't know, like weird little like torn off corner. I thought that was interesting. Where Angels Fear to Tread. E.M. Forster. No, I'm thinking of E.B. White. E.M. Forster. What else did he do? Let me see. Chunky and Big. The Living, a novel by Annie Dillard. So I picked up The Pilgrim at Tinker Creek at some point from a little book library thing in a park. Never got around to reading it. It's moldy. This one's a little bit moldy as well, which is cool. This one is really moldy, so I'm a little bit antsy to get rid of it. I'm always scared that it's gonna like infect my other books, but I don't know if that's really how that works. But brilliant cover once again, like wraparound, landscape, nice. Pet peeve about books though, I hate a decal edge, and many of these are, so negative point. Oh, hello, what is this? This is a map? Bellingham Bay, Gulf of Georgia. Alright, I don't know where that is, somewhere in the south. This is the book, this is the size of the letters. It's many pages and will take a long time. However, I've heard amazing things about Pilgrim at Tinker Creek. I've been told that it would become one of my favorite books. And once again, I have started it, but I've not finished it. I've been in like a read one chapter of a book thing and kind of put it away to see if I like it enough to commit. And especially just trying to read a lot of books, I tend to overestimate my ability to read, and then everything kind of gets like pushed aside or forgotten, because then I get excited about a different book and then I move on to read that. And no shame in that, but I'm just saying, I haven't read any Annie Dillard, I don't think, and I'm excited to read her if I have the time after I finish Sally Rooney, after I finish Barbara Kingsolver, after I finish the classics. I would love to do a read through of Annie Dillard and Ann Patchett. Ann Patchett, I've already read a couple of her books. Sorry, I just burped. But yeah, that's it. I don't even know what this is. Don't Waste Your Life, John Piper. John Piper was a theologian in the old days, I think, like long time ago. Okay, I am absolutely mistaken. This man is probably still alive today. Copyright 2003. So that's my bad. I think this is for like younger people, but I'm going to read it anyways. It's annotated by someone, which is exciting, and I don't really know what it's about. This book will warn you not to get caught up in the life that counts for nothing. It will challenge you to live and die boasting in the cross of Christ, making the glory of God your singular passion. I'm with that. So we'll get to that eventually too. This Present Darkness. Again, the covers are just incredible. Nice little eagle claw, reminds me of Lord of the Rings. I think my brother has read this, which my brother is not the biggest reader, and the stuff he does read, I actually feel like is good. So I feel like that's a good litmus test if a book is good or not. I think it's about spiritual warfare and prayer, and I'm excited about it. So also, how do we feel about like a super floppy soft cover, you know? We are getting into the final books now, and this next book I have feared since I heard of it. I have genuinely been scared and daunted and wary of reading it, and I bought it because it was 75 cents at a thrift store yesterday. It is The Handmaid's Tale. Why was I about to say The Scarlet Letter? The Handmaid's Tale. Guys, I read the blurb, and it did not calm any of my fears. She must lie on her back once a month and pray that the commander makes her pregnant, because in an age of declining births, Offred and the other handmaids are valued only if their ovaries are viable. Offred? Is it Offred or Offred? Offred can remember the years before when she lived and made love with her husband Luke, when she played with and protected her daughters, when she had a job, money of her own, and access to knowledge. But all of that is gone now. Funny, unexpected, horrifying, and altogether convincing, The Handmaid's Tale is at once a scathing satire, dire warning, and tour de force. And if something is described as a tour de force, I'm probably going to pick it up. I'm terrified. That sounds scary to me. And this cover is kind of like ominous and eerie and empty and weird. I don't know what's up with the hats. I don't know, like, where is the shadow coming from? I guess they're outside. It looks like they're in a silo, but there must be some sort of light coming. Hear me out, guys. I hate when these things are not removable. Do not put Hulu on my book. I read books for a reason. I don't watch the shows. Henry David Thoreau, Walden. One of my close friends that, used to be close with, she used to read a lot of Thoreau, I think, or was forced to read it for her degree. And I just remember some of her opinions, and she was also very strongly opinionated about these things. Alright guys, if you notice things are looking a little bit different, it's much later. I ran out of storage and it's okay. Now, I assume that I will love Thoreau. I know a lot of people hate him and he's super controversial. I remember discussing him when I was in an environmental field school, and my whole point with him was, how are you going to sit in the woods and tell people that this is the way to do life? I don't want to see that all of the... And it's like, bro, there are thousands of people that live this way. There are entire countries that live in a very low footprint lifestyle that they just come and they go and they just melt back into the earth. So it's like, why are you being all loud spoken about it when you could just live and die in peace? You know, like, but I've heard it's a bit of a schlep to get through his writing style. We'll see. The font on this is atrocious as well. Can you guys see? It's like thick and dark and black and white, and it's not my favorite thing in the world. The American Way of Death Revisited by Jessica Mitford. Never read this, and I've never read the original American Way of Death, hence the Revisited on the second edition. If I do need to go back and read it, if this doesn't make sense, I will. But my mom and I were just talking about cemeteries and how the American Way of Death is very isolating. You know, we bury ourselves separate from people we love. We have 6 feet apart. We're 6 feet down. We have all this cleared land. Like, ecologically, graveyards are awful for the environment. We're wasting so much nutrients when we're burying ourselves in boxes and not letting the earth take it back. So I was just like, I would love to have a cemetery one day and do it in an ecologically sound fashion, where also I can create a garden and create trails and walk paths and like let people meet each other and have community and have spaces where people can gather and enjoy, rather than just be in this isolating, quiet silence. And like, oh, let's not go over by those people because they're mourning their loss over there. Like, no, let's talk about it. Let's walk together. I will plant your favorite flowers. I will give you the seeds from those bushes. It's like that type of thing where it fosters community and generational impact. So she is the starting point for this, because I want to write a paper about it and just like get it all sorted out and be super scientific about it. But this is kind of my first research book that I'm going to read in order to write that paper, because I believe that she is tapping into a lot of the same ideas as I am. You know, in America, the funeral home system has become a commodity. It's become out of reach for people. It's too expensive. And I don't know how much she talks about ecologic stuff or not, but it's a good place to start. So I'm really excited about it. Like, really interesting cover too. Tell me that doesn't make you want to read the book. So good. Alright guys, so that's it for the books I've bought recently. A lot of them are on my TBR, and I'd like to get to them soon, but I know some of them I won't get to anytime soon. But yeah, they're kind of all over the place. I don't really stick to one genre. I just kind of avoid horror and fantasy and romance. But other than that, the chance of me picking up a memoir or science or historical fiction or lit fic or a poem or a book of essays, all of those chances are equal. I really just do whatever I want to do. And I think a lot of this kind of shows that. I'll keep you updated as always with what I'm reading, and let me know if you have any recommendations or opinions, or if you like these books or you don't like them. And I will catch you in the next one.